teach you about a new law,
show you a way to distress,
cover the protests and controversies,
and send out some shoutouts right here on Tonka Talks.
Oxbridge, what up, man? Let's go.
Check them out.
I'm Sally Dishman.
And I'm Sutton Ward. Happy Valentine's Day and welcome to this week's episode of Tonka Talks. Today is Tuesday, February 14th.
You may have heard talk of a new state law about school fighting recently. We sent Emma to clear the misconceptions.
A new law is taking over news, social media, magazines, and radio all over Missouri. With so many headlines, it's becoming harder to distinguish fact from fiction. We met with Officer Frizzell to learn what this new law is all about.
On January 1st, 2017, the state of Missouri removed the statute titled assault on school property and then added what they call a fourth-degree assault.
Contrary to popular belief, fights on school property are not automatically felonies, but there is a certain degree of assault, resulting in serious bodily injury, that is a felony.
So, if you were involved in a fight on school property, the potential for it being a felony is there, but it was also there prior to changing the law as well.
One thing this law may affect is the amount of fights that occur off of school property.
It doesn't matter the location of where a fight occurs or an assault occurs, the punishment's going to be the same. So that's essentially the only thing that's changed.
With all the miscommunication, we met up with students to get their opinion on this law. Some supporters think this law will help students learn to deal with their anger while they're young and give them a chance to be rehabilitated, while opponents fear this law may contribute to the school-to-prison pipeline and may specifically impact certain student groups.
Adds to the disproportion of African-American males being in jail. And so, I don't necessarily agree with it.
So will this law work as intended?
I think the rumor has actually had a positive effect because people are less likely to get in on a fight.
I don't think it'll really do much.
Whether or not you support this law, make sure you know your facts in order to make informed, educated opinions.
School can be stressful sometimes. Gracie is here to tell you a way you can get through it.
A high school counseling office is known for its welcoming faces and the help they are able to bring to students. But there is something special about Winnetonka High School's office that has positively impacted the attitudes of many stressed out students. It is known as the Take What You Need board and was created by Miss Wilson, a Winnetonka staff member.
I thought about it because I wanted kids to know that this was a good positive place to come and that sometimes those encouraging words are what they need to see and not necessarily hear. There was an overwhelming response during gold medallion exhibitions.
Students who strive for gold medallion and honors diploma found the encouraging words on the board to be helpful in staying positive, and reading them became a part of their everyday routine.
I taped it on my computer, and we taped a lot, actually. Having it sit there and looking at it constantly, being on your computer and working on it, helped you, remember you had to be patient.
I think it's great to have encouragement from our staff.
Lifting the spirits of teenagers can be quite the job. So how does Miss Wilson decide what words appear on the bulletin board?
I use an online thesaurus.
The Take What You Need board has made small words have a huge impact on Winnetonka High School.
Protesting is a very challenging, confusing, and controversial issue around not just America, but the world. Jeffrey is here to give you a general report on the stigma and how people feel about it.
Out the pickup and you need to go south. You're going to get sprayed with pepper.
As we all know, protesting has become a recent American phenomenon. So, what is this stigma around protesting? Well, I go around and ask you of your opinion on how protests should be done and how you feel about them. First, what is our natural given right to protest?
I think our natural given right to protest is something everyone is absolutely entitled to. If we have a concern that needs to be raised, I think everyone has the right to be able to raise that concern in a peaceful way.
Stances about protesting vary around America, but is this a black and white issue or more of a gray area?
I think it is a black and white issue, but it's been made a gray issue by the media. It becomes like I don't know if this is okay, but really, it is a right,
Many Americans are tired of seeing protests around the media because they say it's the new normal. Well, is it?
I think the point of protest is that it's not normal. If protest is happening, something is not right. The point of protest is to make things happen. The right to protest is normal. The right to, when you have to use it, is not normal.
I think a successful protest is any protest that gets a point across, whether it gets anything done in Washington or anything like that. But if it ingrains an idea in people's heads and sparks a thought about this certain issue, if it changes one person's mind, in my opinion, it changes everything.
A successful protest meets its goal. It changes something. Something happens because, and not like just because it was going to happen anyway, but A causes B.
All around America, we have political pundits telling us how not to protest. Well, how should we protest?
While I support punching fascists in the face, Berkeley is complicated. I'm not qualified enough to speak on the Berkeley issue, but Richard Spencer had spent the whole day promoting Nazi propaganda and promoting neo-Nazi beliefs and white supremacy. And while it's hard for people to be like, yes, people should be punched in the face, if anybody deserves to be punched in the face, it's a Nazi, right?
What is punching in the face? What effect does it have politically, like, long term?
Okay, so this is a really interesting topic, actually. So when you do things like punch somebody in the face instead of engage them in a debate, it means that you do not respect them politically, right? Like, if you refuse to acknowledge genocide as a political stance, that automatically downsizes it. The thoughts behind punching people in the face is like, we're not going to have this debate with you. Jews are people, black people are people, gay people are people. You know what I mean?
So it's like it should be this way, like it shouldn't be made a compromise.
Yeah, it's not a compromise. It's a position that cannot be changed.
The idea of peaceful protests is always the best idea. Peace is always going to win. And they let themselves punch people and stuff, and that's ridiculous to me. You know, Martin Luther King didn't like lots of people that didn't like him and discriminated against him, but he was peaceful about it. Peaceful protests are supposed to disrupt the common way of doing things. That's what protesting is all about.
This is Jeffrey Rooks, signing out for Tonka Talks.
In honor of today being Valentine's Day, Sally and Max went out so students could share some love.
I want to give a Valentine's Day shout out to my mac and cheese.
Happy Valentine's Day, Brenda Jock. I love you.
Shout out to Shmira. Love you, babe. Also, special shout out to Ben Weaver just for being varsity quarterback. Woo.
Shout out to Lindsay Langdon for being my Valentine's, even though I never asked her.
Happy Valentine's Day, Cameron.
Shout out to my baby Fong.
Happy Valentine's Day to the love of my life, my forever Griffin, Mr. Rosario.
Yes! Happy Valentine's Day, Mia!
Happy Valentine's Day, Ronnie.
Happy Valentine's Day, Dakota Rusher, love you.
Happy Valentine's Day, and my Valentine is Kaylee Holman. You are beautiful. Happy Valentine's.
I'd like to give a shout out to all the girls who like me, specifically because I was varsity quarterback, like this one.
Oh, Sutton, you know you're the only one for me. That's all for this week's episode. I'm Sally Dishman.
And I'm Sutton Ward. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next week on Tonka Talks.
Mic check the 1, 2, just let me bless this. Setting off the record, competitors, let's just talk that as an L, cause you versus us is chess of seconds. Check 'em out.